Welcome, I'm Jax from Masterarms, and in this video we're gonna take a look at how to perform a perfect intercept. We will be borrowing a technique from the US Navy called the 40K rule. 40K in this case is 40,000 feet of lateral separation. On the right we have a F-16C that is going to intercept a KC-135 aerial tanker. The 40K rule intercept is a counter-turn intercept. That means basically that you will be doing a 180-degree turn around and intercept your target. With a lateral separation of 40,000 feet and a distance of 10 nautical miles to your target, you begin a turn into the target. Let's see how it goes. Alright, looks easy enough. Let's break it down. First of all, you need to establish yourself on the correct lateral separation that will be giving you turning room, turning space to make you turn without overshooting. And there are different ways to do that, but the easiest rule of thumb is that you take your target aspect and multiply it by your distance to the target. Target aspect is the number of degrees the pilot in the target aircraft needs to look out to the left or right to see you. So it has nothing to do with your heading, only the heading of the target and your position relative to him. So if the target needs to look 40 degrees to the left to see you, well, then you have a target aspect of 40 degrees. We multiply it by the distance and we'll get the lateral separation. So 40 times 10 in this rule of thumb will equal 40k of lateral separation. If we are further back and we have a target aspect of 10 degrees and we have a distance of 40 nautical miles, that will be 40k of lateral separation. There are several ways you can establish your target aspect. In the F-16, you'll have aspect angle in the upper left corner of the radar display. So if you subtract that number from 180, you'll have the target aspect counted from the nose. You can also do it visually by looking through the targeting pod and estimate the target aspect. Or, as I like to do it, the easiest way to get a very precise number is to use your helmet mounted display. By simply looking at your target through the helmet mounted display, you'll be able to see your bearing to the target. In this case here we have a bearing of approximately 230 degrees to the target from our position. That number you will subtract from the target's opposite heading. So if the target is traveling heading 090, you take the counter heading 270 minus our bearing to the target, and that's the target aspect. So counter heading for the tanker is 270, our bearing 230, 270 minus 230 equals 40 degrees of target aspect. Done correctly, you will see the target approaching just in between the 5 and 10 nautical mile ring on your HSD. With 10 miles to go, commence your turn and adjust your bank angle and turn rate to get your nose on the target before having turned 90 degrees. From there on, continue pulling through and aim for a lead pursuit. The last part is quite tricky because it's very hard to visually judge your closure rate, and it's very easy to forget how many degrees you have left to turn to match the heading of your target, and failing to do that will lead to an overshoot and you looking like a noob. Okay, we're in the front seat of the F-16 and we're closing into our turning point at 10 miles, and we have the tanker 40 degrees to our left, so we commence our turn. What I usually do is look up the speed of the target on the radar. That's displayed in true airspeed, or perhaps ground speed. Either way, I'll set my own HUD speed to true airspeed, and usually keep excess speed of roughly 100 knots above that. On the HUD speed tape, you can see the letter T that tells us that the indicated speed is actually true airspeed and not calibrated airspeed. That surplus speed will be bled off during the last 30 degrees of the intercept. At this point, I'm placing the tanker on my 1 or almost 2 o'clock position, and starting to keep an eye on how many degrees I have left to turn to match the heading of my target, which in this case is heading 090 degrees. 30 degrees to go. I'm starting to bleed off the speed. The speed of the tanker is 360. Alright, we're approaching the tanker. The speed is coming down nicely to match the 360 knots of the tanker. So we can proceed and moving for the refuel. The new clouds in the 2.7 update are really beautiful, really stunning. They do jump around a bit in VR, but I'm sure Eagle Dynamics is gonna fix that in a couple of weeks. So there you have it. Hope this video has been helpful, and as always, I do appreciate if you like or even subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to put them down in the commentary field below. Have a good one.